Let me say this to the kids. I'm saying this as a son who lost a dad, also as a dad who lost a son. The Bible says, honor your mother and your father that your days may be long. It's not what go on in front of them. Honor your parents by doing what they taught you to do when they're not there. God, look at this. You get yourself in a position where God take his hands off you, man. You messed up. If you have a mother, if you have grandparents, man, that think enough of you, you know what you're supposed to do. You know what you're not supposed to be doing. Before you take that pill, before you smoke, before you drink that land, forget about yourself. Put 2 holes in that casket where you can look at that front row and imagine what that front row gonna look like. Why would you do this to your mom and your dad? And a lot of y'all have your grandmothers in your life. You ain't heard no cry until you hear the cry of a grandmother. When a grandmother break down and cry and got to cry to bury a grandchild that she raised, think about all of that before you decide that you're gonna take a pill to get high or to relax.
Thanks, Granddad. Granddad, what do you do when you can't do nothing, but there's nothing you can do?
You do what you can.
Now I will never be your hater, I'm your biggest fan. I hope it falls into place just how you planned it. Life could put you in a pickle, just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. More importantly, you saw the clip. Shout out to Ricky Smiley. This parenting thing, part of it, what he said is, I've had trouble with all of this. You know, it's been a journey for me in life. As a child, honoring my mother and father, and as an adult, being honored by my own child. You get what I'm saying? So, and I know you got to put the phrase in it. You know, don't provoke your kids to anger. And this is what I've learned on both of those terms. Don't love me in my face, and don't love me behind my back. And that can go in many different ways, but what we see in society is, I didn't have this issue as a kid where if you taught me to be a good person and have morals and standards and ethics, I didn't have them in your face. It wasn't like I behave myself when I'm in front of you, but when I leave out the house, I'm a completely different person. That's dishonorable. Just that's how I see it. So what you have in society now where it looks like kids are trying to honor their mother and their father if they do that in front of them. But when you go to school, you dishonorable. When you go out in the world, you're dishonorable. When you go to college, you're dishonorable. When you become an adult in the adult world, you're dishonorable. But when you get in front of your parents, hey, mama, I'm an angel. And it's like, nah, you fake. You fake. And on the flip side, I've had the experience of not honoring my parents, my mother, my father, because th- some of their actions were dishonorable, and I couldn't honor that. And sometimes you have parents in a situation where they want to be honored while being dishonorable, and it's like, so you taught me, you want to teach me right from wrong, but when you did wrong, I'm just supposed to say you right because you my parent. You get what I'm saying? And that don't as old folks, even my mother would say, that dog don't hunt. So we have an issue. And that becomes a problem in itself because now people want to guilt you into being a an obedient child when your parent is rogue. You get what I'm saying? So it's a problem. And on the other end, you know, my experience is not being honored as a father. Honored when it's convenient. Let's put it like that. Because they say, don't provoke your child to anger, but you know, I'm in a situation. My situation was, or it probably still is, who knows, that my child was provoked to anger by their mother. So for me, the anger was misplaced, but it's still anger enough, and it's still, I'm still the bad guy, no matter, in the situation. Is it I'm the bad guy for real? No, but to be team mom, sometimes you got to be anti dad. So in that sense, that made my child not honor thy father because, if I honor you, I dishonor mom, and I ain't doing that type of thing. And as a child, I was in that position as well, and I chose to treat my parents as is, as in I accepted their goods and bads, but I didn't go because of y'all relationship. I'm gonna treat you this way to get back for my mama, and I'm gonna treat you this way to get back for my dad. I wasn't doing none of that. So I know it's possible to not try that, or I wasn't trying to get over on one because both they weren't a unit. That wasn't my MO. But now as an adult, I had to stop talking to my father because um he a thief. He still and he stole from me, and in every occasion that he had to pay me back, he basically threw me the middle finger, and I was like, I'm done. But the problem becomes that's not what he's going to tell everybody else. So I had family members, thinking I'm doing something to him, and it's like, bro, I ain't even gonna deal with you and for me, it's like, as an adult, it's like I'm supposed to still honor my father and mother, but like I said, now you provoke me to anger, and it's for a legitimate reason. Because in that same commandment, in the same commandments, they say, honor thy father and thy mother. They also say, thou shalt not steal. So that becomes a a issue, like that, like thou shalt not bear false witness. And sometimes your kids lie on you, sometimes you lie on your parents. So you could obey one commandment and disobey the other commandment, and they involve the same people. You get what I'm saying? So does one hand wash the other? Does it or is that a problem? And in my lifetime, it's been a problem because getting to what Ricky Smiley was talking about, if you can't honor your parents, you don't, you dishonor yourself. Because some people don't realize if you can't honor your parents when they're being honorable, right? And you out in the world being dishonorable, you don't care what happens to them. And I've been there, man. As he said, the cry of a grandmother, like the cry of a mother that lost her child, been there. It's not what you want to see, not what you want to hear. It's just, it breaks your soul. And to see a father who can't want to still be strong, but it's like breaks your soul too. So, but that wasn't, that was accident. That death was accidental. But when he's talking about people like smoking and drinking and partying and being reckless, because some of y'all, when y'all want to be out in the world and you want to be grown the way you want to be grown, you don't think about the bad positions you put yourself in and how your family might have to pay for that later. You don't. It doesn't cross your mind because sometimes you're just young and you feel like you're invincible and you live forever. And other times you just don't care. And you don't realize, some people would rather be missed than loved. You know what I'm saying? And they operate in that, and that's a selfish way to operate. So could you honor your mother and your father and even your family enough to not put them in a position where they have to clean up your mess or bury you? The bury you is extreme, but what happens more times than that is people have to clean up your mess. And it's like you don't love your family enough to your parents enough to not get yourself in multiple accidents and run up their insurance, or get yourself sick and run up their insurance, or or destroy the house and destroy the cars, and they have to pay for it and fix it, or go to school and quit, and you left them stuck in a bad situation with bad credit or holding a bag, or or you need to come home and figure your life out, but they're working to death to take care of you as an adult because you don't want to be an adult, and you're not seeing how it's draining them and wearing on them. You know what I'm saying? Or having your parents raise your kids because you just can't figure it out. It's like, and I've seen a situation where some kids, um, their parents weren't honorable when they were young, and they spend their adulthood throwing their parents under the bus and using them and manipulating them because you weren't a good mother when I was younger. You wasn't a good dad when I was young. And now this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just be a complete I'm gonna be on demon time with you, and you're just supposed to, you know, break yourself to fix my life because I'm saying you destroyed me, when all honesty, they just don't want to grow up and they don't want to be grown. So they're trying to guilt trip you to give them more time to waste their life. So I'm gonna leave it at that. You tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die. Try and catch y'all on the next one. Peace. You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna take you.